All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming live from our Joburg office. Good morning and welcome back to the opening bell with myself, Tshepo and Ashley. And this is brought to you by TD Markets and TD Markets Academy every Mondays to Fridays at 9, streaming live on YouTube. We are almost there, guys. End of the week. Still one more day left before we wrap up the trading week. All right, a simple one this morning. We are going to be looking at the US indices this morning. We chose these assets because there is a meeting or a summit between Trump and the Chinese president Xi Jinping. All right, so that is held in Beijing. I believe Donald Trump, traveled yesterday. I'm not sure, but I think yesterday. So there's a Trump and Xi summit taking place in Beijing, and one of the things they're going to be talking about or on the agenda is AI and the tech sector performance. All right. So that is one of the things on the agenda: AI and tech sector performance. All right, hence we are looking at the US indices because these are companies, tech companies, right, in a basket that makes up the index, which is US 30, Nasdaq, and S&P 500. All right, so the US president has invited a lot of CEOs from major companies, right? I believe that he has invited the CEO of Tesla, the CEO of Apple, the CEO of Nvidia, Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock. So these are I think it's about 15 CEOs that are going to accompany him to Beijing, all right? And that tells you that one of the major topics and discussions on the table is going to be around the tech industry, AI, and how AI is, maybe they're going to talk about the prospect of AI in the next 5-10 years, right? But it is a major industry. Now if you take a look at Nasdaq, right, this is the Nasdaq chart. If you take a look at the S&P 500 chart, they've all broken the record high, right, now creating new highs. So on S&P 500 right now, the previous record high or all-time high, according to the structure, was around $7,000. Price broke it, and look at where S&P 500 is now. And then you've got Nasdaq, where the previous all-time high was on 26,292, somewhere around there, 26,270, 80, 90, somewhere there, right? And the market obviously broke it. Now this is because of the earnings, the performance from the earnings, right, that has created and built this momentum towards the upside, right? A couple of months, not a couple of months, but a couple of weeks ago, it was earnings season. So big corporation, big tech firms were reporting their Q1 earnings, right? So they reported good Q1 earnings, and as a result the momentum pushed the indexes towards the upside, Nasdaq and S&P 500. All right, now we also have US 30 that I really want to talk about in this session, both US 30 as well as German 30. Right, now you've got US 30. US 30 has not broken the previous all-time high, that is around 50,500, right, around that price level there. That is the previous all-time high. Now as far as correlation is concerned, you will see Nasdaq, US 30 and S&P 500 moving in the same direction. It doesn't happen at the same time, but they're going to end up moving in the same direction. That as far as correlation, because these are tech indexes, right? Tech indexes. So now looking at where S&P and Nasdaq are, US 30 is likely going to follow them. So this means that as far as correlation is concerned, there is a lot of opportunity to catch this move all the way back to the previous high, or even break the previous high towards the upside. All right, so that is the opportunity we are seeing here on US 30. At the moment, we can see what's happening on the daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame, price is rejecting this structure here. around 49,760. It's rejecting that. Obviously the structure is still bullish. There is a lot of momentum towards the upside, and as such we are focusing on buying US 30 back to that high there. All right, so yeah, so US 30, one more push towards the upside. That is what we're anticipating. And then German 30 also is giving us something similar, right? We've already spoken about German 30 in the previous sessions, but this is how German 30 is looking. So this is the previous high, the previous all-time high on German 30. Now here we have a higher low that formed. If you look at the weekly time frame, the weekly structure, which is this, you will, yeah, basically this is basically the trend we're seeing on the weekly structure. So now with this structure, this trend, the market has already given us a higher low around the zone, and right now it is trading within an impulse. So this impulse, according to structure, right, there's a higher probability that we're going to see price going back to that high, because it's trading within the impulse. The impulse is the continuation of that structure, of that trend. So now look at what's happening here. There's clearly higher lows. There's clearly higher lows that are forming here, right? Price gave us a correction, and now it is bouncing, or it is creating a higher lows. There is a lot of accumulation that is happening around the zone. Accumulation. Now once that is done, we are anticipating a continuation towards the upside, right? So this price action is giving us a situation where there's a higher probability that price is going to push towards the upside. You see how it is? So German 30, we are also looking for a continuation towards the upside. So that's basically it, guys, right, for this morning. We looked at S&P 500 and Nasdaq, where they are, and then we are trying to make sense of what direction US 30 is gonna take according to the correlation it has with S&P 500 and Nasdaq, right? So US 30 to us, it is bullish, and then you've got German 30 that is also giving us a similar structure, which is bullish, and therefore where it is right now, where it's trading right now, we're anticipating momentum to push towards the upside. So that is it this morning, guys, right? That is the opening bell this morning. Do catch us later on at 2 p.m. live on YouTube for the trading room. Ashley will be going over these setups and more setups as well. All right, so that's it from us this morning, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, you can open up an account with us on www.tdmarkets.com. You can also send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com. That's it. Have a good one. Enjoy and good luck.